Today we're going to talk about what Americans do not understand about socialism. Let's hop into it. I see a lot of young people today wanting America to be more like a socialist economy. You see it in the media, it's getting a lot of celebrity backing. It seems that young people in the United States love the idea of socialism. But what Americans do not understand about socialism is socialism has historically never worked. It wasn't that long ago that millions and millions of people starved to death under Stalin. That is because with socialism, the state and the government controls everything. You then have to rely on that state or government entity to redistribute everything equally. But as we all know, politicians lie and governments can sometimes be corrupt. Many people who are in favor of socialism say, well, Stalin and Russia, that wasn't real socialism. Bernie Sanders came out and said that he wants to be socialist in the way Denmark is socialist.
How can any kind of socialist win a general election in the United States?
I think we should look to countries like Denmark, like Sweden, and Norway, and learn from what they have accomplished for their working people.
But the irony is the Prime Minister of Denmark came out and said that Denmark is not a socialist nation. On the contrary, they are a market economy just like the United States.
I know that some people in the US associate the Nordic model with some sort of socialism. Therefore, I would like to make one thing clear. Denmark is far from a socialist planned economy. Denmark is a market economy, a successful market economy with much freedom to pursue your dreams and live your life as you wish.
So why do so many young people like the idea of socialism, and what are the implications of that? Well, first, let me just say, I get it. I understand why the idea of socialism is very appealing. Right now in the United States, there is a record number of inequality. You have rich people at the top who have an abundance, and you have poor people at the bottom who really don't have anything at all. Now, in theory, socialism would take all of the resources from everyone and then redistribute it equally so that everybody has an equal share of the pie. That is enticing for people who have historically been disadvantaged. It's also attractive to any people who are maybe poor or in debt because essentially everything gets wiped away. We all start out with a clean slate and we would all get the same amount, theoretically. The problem is we would have to rely on our states and our governments to control everything and then actually distribute it equally and be honest about that distribution. We would have to trust the same government that has told us to not eat in restaurants for the last year.
It's absolutely essential avoiding mixing with people that are outside of your households.
But of course, politicians and government, they did eat at restaurants. This specific restaurant has dinners going for about $800 a plate. And oh, by the way, that is your tax dollars paying for his $800 dinner. We would be giving our money, our property, our businesses to the same government who told you that it was too dangerous to go to a salon this last year.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi under fire tonight after security footage showed her inside a San Francisco hair salon that's closed to the general public because of coronavirus.
I just have my hair washed. I don't wear a mask when I'm washing my hair. Do you wear a mask when you're washing your hair? I always have a mask. I always have a mask.
We would be giving up our freedom and handing it over to the same government who told you to wear a mask, even though they said they're only going to wear it for political theater.
So Wendy, I'm going to take my mask off when I speak.
I will as well. I'm waiting so that we can do a little political theater.
Okay.
So that it's on camera.
And we would have to rely on the same government that told you to not get a haircut all last year, but for them it's okay because they really care about their hygiene.
In Chicago, when salons were closed, the mayor got a haircut.
A photo that surfaced on social media showing the mayor after getting a trim has some asking, what about me?
I take my personal hygiene very seriously. As I said, I felt like I needed to have a haircut.
So the point is, we would have to trust these people who lie to us every time they're on camera to actually distribute everything equally. But put that aside for a second. This is going to be controversial, but I can think of no government entity that operates better than a private business in the same industry. So for example, let's look at schools. Look at public schools versus private schools. And again, this is going to be controversial because I have many family members in the education industry. But just look at our public school system. That is funded by tax dollars and it is run by the government. These schools are not as good as private schools. No government program will be as good as a private business. And why is that? Well, because public schools or police departments or fire departments, Anything that is run by the government, which is important to have, by the way, I'm not saying we get rid of them by any means, they're important to have, but they don't actually have to be that great because they're going to get money regardless because of taxes. When you get a paycheck, the first thing taken out of that is taxes, and a part of those taxes goes to these different government entities. In other words, they don't have to be good or compete for your money. They're going to get it no matter what through tax dollars. With private businesses, it is absolutely voluntary if you give them money or not. So in order for these private businesses to get your money, in order for them to earn your business, they have to be better. They have to provide a superior product or a better service. Maybe they have to be more affordable, so cheaper than the competition, and in some cases they have to be all three of those things. So in other words, in order for a private business to get your money, they actually have to be providing a good amount of value. Whereas in order for a government entity to get your money, all they have to do is charge taxes. If a private business does not offer superior products or services or have competitive pricing, they will go out of business. But a government program can be run as horribly as it possibly can be, and they will still be funded by tax dollars. The biggest reason why I don't think socialism will work is because the government lies to us all the time, and they are filled with hypocrisies. There is a pizzeria right down the road from me. It is my favorite pizza on the entire planet. It's traditional wood fire pizza cooked over an open flame, and the taste is amazing. The crust is perfect, the sauce is just right, the way the cheese and the pepperoni all melts together. It is my favorite place to eat in the entire world, and lucky for me, it's just right down the street. Well, the owners of this pizza place are incredibly smart, and they bought the real estate that their restaurant is in. In other words, in addition to owning the pizzeria, they actually own the building that the pizzeria is in. For 10 months last year, the government shut them down. The government told them, hey, it's too dangerous for you to operate, so we're going to shut you down. We're going to cut off your revenue supply. You can make no money. So my favorite pizzeria shut down for 10 months, and they didn't make any money during that entire time. But they still had to pay the government their property taxes on the building that they owed. So really think about this. The government shut down their money supply. They said, you cannot earn money. We're going to make it illegal for you to go out and earn a living. You will be put in jail if you try to operate and make money. But also, pay us our property tax dollars. Because the government shut down their business, they could have also halted property taxes, but they didn't do it because the government will always get their money. The government also shut down movie theaters. Why? Because movie theaters were deemed too dangerous. But for some reason, in my state, liquor stores and marijuana dispensaries were not shut down. And for anybody who may be confused, in the state of Washington, marijuana is completely legal to smoke as long as you're 21. But liquor stores and marijuana stores were still open. Why? Because liquor and marijuana is heavily taxed. So the government didn't want to shut down liquor stores, and the government didn't want to shut down marijuana dispensaries because they collect so much tax revenue from those two sources, and they didn't want to lose any money. But even if you put aside corruption through government, the main reason that I don't think socialism will work is, quite frankly, not everybody is equal. The idea of socialism is that everybody would get the same amount regardless of talent, effort, or hard work. And the truth is, although we have equal value as human beings, we don't have equal value in the marketplace. If you have a job and you work really hard at it and you're very good at what you do, you're going to make more money than someone who just sits at home, drinks beer, and watches TV all day and doesn't want to work hard. It actually wouldn't be fair for that lazy person to make the same amount of money as you do because they're not doing as much. They're not producing as much. A guy who's terrible at football is not going to make the same amount of money as Tom Brady, who's won 7 Super Bowl rings. What I appreciate about capitalism is everybody has a chance to showcase their talent, skills, and hard work, and they have a shot at making it. With socialism, you take that freedom away. With socialism, the state owns and controls everything. In true socialism, you can't even own your house because the state would own all property. Millions of people immigrate to the United States every single year because of the opportunity that this country has to offer. They escape socialism so they have a shot at making something for themselves. By the sweat of their brow and the strength of their back, they can go achieve greatness in this country. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't aim for fairness and equality of opportunity. In fact, equality of opportunity is what any sensible person agrees we should have. If there is truly equal opportunity, then everybody will have a chance to showcase their skills and abilities, and they can contribute to the marketplace. But I don't think socialism will work, and I only think that because history shows that it never has. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.